The craft services team purchased organic food from local purveyors throughout the shoot, generating economic benefits to local farms and suppliers of organic ingredients. Plastic plates, cups, and utensils were replaced with sugar and corn-based dinnerware. Wow, that's awesome. Keeping hundreds of pounds of plastic and styrofoam out of landfills. So again, that's a simple way of making a big impact. Just getting rid of plastics. The wardrobe department used low-energy washers and dryers every night for the maintenance of costumes. The sound department used both recyclable and rechargeable batteries whenever possible and made special efforts to dispose of other batteries properly, keeping them out of landfills. So each department played a role in making the production more green. So it's not just one department thing. It's not just the producers' effort. It has to be a team effort. Every department has to find ways to work in a greener way. The production team adopted sustainable habits in the production office, programming copiers and printers to double-sided settings. Okay. Using porcelain plates and mugs, stainless steel utensils, and installing CFL task lighting wherever possible. The positive environmental results of the production team's efforts far exceed the carbon emissions reductions measured. They helped blaze a trail for the industry colleagues and left important lessons for future production teams to benefit from and expand upon. Their experiences will influence the making of many feature films for years to come. Again, this was in 2009, so I'll just check the website to see if there are any follow-up reports or research that has been done, just to see what was improved since 2009, because now that's over 10 years. So the next section is lessons learned. The production team and environmental consultants learned several powerful lessons from the experience. So one of the lessons they learned was about waste. With a competent and experienced waste cutter, recycling and waste programs can be extremely effective and relatively easy to implement. And then another lesson was about transportation. Carbon reduction by using hybrid vehicles should be implemented at every opportunity. Energy. During the production, we were able to secure permission from major East Coast and national vendors of generators and production vehicles to use alternative fuels made from soy or reprocessed reclaimed fried grease. This initiative had two purposes. First, to reduce the carbon emissions resulting from the production. Second, and more important, to dispel any myths that clients had about biodiesel by demonstrating the efficiency of the fuel. Alternative fuels have several benefits in terms of health, carbon saving, and cost reduction. So, it's not only good for the environment, it also is good for our health. Construction. They say that set construction at the time of the pilot remained an obstacle. It is still challenging to find FSC certified wood in the Northeast that meets the rigorous requirements of film and set construction. So that's one challenge that they have. So in terms of accounting, it should be noted once again the important role that the accounting staff plays in the process of measuring carbon emissions. So, like I said, every department needs to do their part, and they are highlighting the importance of the accounting department. They say it was our experience during this pilot um, that it was not possible for the accounting department to track expenses as they occurred because most receipts were not handed over until the very end of the production. For future cases, since the accounting departments along with the production staff dictate the procedures for expenses, a process should be decided upon at the very start of pre-production for collecting the information necessary to estimate the carbon emissions. This will include receipts and inventory lists for items such as truck and generator rental, standard and diesel gas, and car rentals. Finally, when possible, the burden of reporting should be the responsibility of the vendor. Okay, so that's one of their suggestions or recommendations. In terms of water bottles and craft services, they say Earthmark Green Media Solutions worked closely with the production department to implement a water bottle reduction program and a craft services program, both of which focused on either reducing or replacing the use of plastics. So what I understand by this is that the production company does not necessarily have to do this all on their own. They should actually be allowed to focus on what they do best, which is making films, but then they can partner together with people um, who know about reducing emissions or just working in a more sustainable way, so that they do their job of making films while the partners, their green partners, help them to work in a greener way. So what I'm understanding by this is that collaboration is key, that this cannot just be done by the production company. They need to work with people who have experience in working green. Aluminium SIG brand bottles were used in place of traditional plastic. The production set up water stations. So the crew used almost no bottled water, preventing over 14,000 plastic bottles from circulation over the course of the production. So I think, for me, I think that's one of the big wins that they got from this whole process. Being location efficient. When the push to achieve production efficiencies converges with the desire to go green, the production team can score a double win, allowing the filmmakers to both save money and reduce their carbon footprint. So this is what I mentioned earlier, that when you become location efficient, you automatically also become cost efficient. Nowhere on the production timeline is this more evident than in the location selection process, which presents both a challenge and an opportunity. The Away We Go script called for many additional locations than were ultimately shot because the budget-conscious producers worked with the creative team to achieve plausible and diverse landscape backdrops that were not as far-flung as the original script called for. Again, what I said earlier, that it all begins with the script. Going green has to begin from the script stage. Things like locations, you have to ensure that each location is important to the story and will move the story forward and is not just there for the sake of it, because each location has a cost implication and a green implication. And then also from that paragraph, again, collaboration. The creative team has to work with the producers to come to a point where both parties are happy, because sometimes you don't want to save money or go green at the expense of creativity, because ultimately the final product has to be entertaining and it has to be a quality product. So even though going green is important, it shouldn't be at the expense of quality product. So it has to be, both aspects are important, and I think now that the challenge is how to achieve both without compromising either one of them. And I guess it's just a matter of teamwork, just discussing and finding out creative ways of going green while at the same time producing a quality, entertaining product. So they go into details about how they went about being location efficient.